Hello and welcome everyone. Thank you so much for joining me for a little bit of yoga with Amona. I'm Amona and I'm very excited for today's session with you. So we will be looking at some nice and easy, gentle warm-up stretches, a lot of seated stretches, and we will then also have a look at some sun salutations, so-called sun salutations that we do in yoga a lot. The basic moves of it, and then a little bit of variety if we have time to just spice things up. This is a great session for adults and also for children who would like to explore a little bit of the seated warm-up stretches. For the sun salutations, your children might have to be able to just follow some instructions already, but feel free to explore for them and see what they are keen to try out. They might be happy to just copy you as you go, so you can explore that as a family. So we will get started in a comfortable seated position. You can do your own sort of breathing exercises beforehand to ground yourself if you like, but we will start straight away into just moving already, connecting breath and movement. So first off, I'm sitting comfortably just on the floor. You can obviously get it more comfortable if you like and sit on a cushion. I might actually also do that. And we will start by breathing in deeply through the nose and lifting the arms up overhead. And as I'm just sitting there, I will have my hands reaching up, reaching towards the ceiling. I'm going to grow through the crown of my head, grow it in my seat and just reaching nice and high, stretching out, reaching. I'm going to wiggle the fingers, stretching them out a little bit, spread the fingers, rotate the wrists a little bit, and just do my first rounds of breath while I'm here. With an exhale, I can let them come down. Shake the arms out a little bit and shake anything off that we just don't need right now for the next 25-ish minutes that we are together. Breathing in again and lifting the arms up overhead. And then on an exhale, I'm going to reach over to one side. Boom. Gently fall over to one side, but making sure both sit bones are still connected with the floor. Reaching up and away. Maybe see if you can look towards your upper fingertips. Makes the pose more open. So we're try to achieve an open chest rather than rounding forward. Okay, so actively think of sending the arm back and looking up. And then we inhale back to center. And exhale to the other side again, reaching up and away and trying to just check in with the fingertips up there. Good. Inhaling back to center. From here, I'm interlacing the fingers behind my back. So to move to the side, to show you, it will look like this. The arms, hands are gently pulling away from the body. I'm lifting the chin to allow more air to come in as I inhale, gently pulling away. Shoulder blades are coming together. Really good chest opener. We will reverse the move and now interlace the fingers in front of the body, gently pulling forward. Again, I'm showing you from the side. As I'm pulling forward, I'm leaning back with the upper back here. Shoulder blades are coming apart this time, and you imagine you're breathing into that space of the shoulder blades, upper back. Using an inhale to come out of the pose. Great. And then last time, interlacing the fingers again, but then from here, sending the palms upward. Palms are pointing towards the ceiling. And again, we are sitting tall, growing in our seat. We can reach up and again allow a little side body stretch. And the other side. From here, let's stretch the neck. We're gently pulling the ear away from the shoulder, creating space here, long neck. Drawing the shoulder down, other side. Good. And release. We're gently rolling the head from side to side a few times. Rolling, rolling, side to side, not too fast, so there's no rush here. Great, let me just move a little bit further back. So from here, we are in a comfortable seated position. I want to again bring the fingers into play and spider the fingers forward. Reach forward as far as you can. Let the head drop if it feels comfortable. And just see where you feel that, maybe in the glutes, in the back of the legs, in the hip area, maybe. We're actively reaching forward. Again, breathing into the space where we feel something happening in the body. Lifting the gaze from here, walking back towards the body. So however you sit now might be how your legs have naturally fallen into a comfortable seat. Doesn't matter if your knees are higher up or lower as you are seated. All of our bodies are different. But let's change the position. So let's bring the other leg in front. I already feel that this is different for the body. Spidering the fingers forward again, reaching forward, and just explore how that feels different in the body now. Bringing the other foot in front and reaching forward. While you're seated, forward fold. If you feel more tension, then breathing in slower, longer, deeper can be quite helpful. All right, and then we're walking back again. Hands meet the body, and let's come into all fours position. Just gonna drop my pillow over there. We'll move towards my mat so you can see my full body. So we'll start in all fours position. We can do loads of warm-up exercises here as well, not just while we're seated. And I'm starting by bringing the hands underneath the shoulders and the knees underneath the hips. Toes can be flat on the floor or tucked. I'm just rocking back and front a few times, and gently. As you rock back and front, you're warming up a lot of your joints. Encourage more blood flow. Blood is warming up as well, and the muscles. So when I talk about the joints, it goes from your ankles to obviously the knee joint, hip joint, wrist joint as well. And then you can potentially increase the range of motion here, walk the hands further front and maybe the knees further back if you'd like to play a little bit with bringing the body further front and further back. So you're reaching forward with the chest when you come forward, and you send the hips all the way to meet the heels whenever you come back. So a few rounds of just rocking back and front. And then I'm going to come back into all fours position from here, and we'll have a look at our cat and cow move. So we want to arch the back and round the back, and again move with the breath. To inhale, lift the chin and arch the back, and use exhales to push the floor away and round the back. This rounding and arching of the back, the move can start initiating from the hips, if you like, so you can play with how that feels when the hips move first and then the rest of the spine, and the head to come last. It's actually quite challenging for the head to come last, or you try and move everything at the same time. But again, not moving too fast, so you can really explore all of the different body parts that are moving here. Good. For our children who really want to have fun with this cat and cow, obviously these cat names always make me want to do the cat and cow noises. So we inhale to arch the back. This is our cow. So what does the cow do? Moo. And we round the back and push the floor away for our cat. Meow. So you can play a little bit with these sounds. Okay, if you want to do more than just rounding and arching the back, we can again bring back the rocking back and front. We can bring the hips into play, shake out the tail feather, move up and down, and any kind of shapes that just feel nice and are just fun to do, okay? Your body, your rocking back and front for some additional warm-up moves. All right, so now I think it's time to explore a little bit our sun salutations. After a good warm-up, we can start looking at that. First off, before we do that, let's have a look at a very important pose in yoga, the downward facing dog, another animal. Tucking the toes and sending the hips towards the sky. So this starts from tabletop. You tuck the toes, you send the hips nice and high. Once you come into down dog, you can have a very active downward facing dog, pedal the feet out, shake the legs out if you like. If you are in a static downward facing dog, you try and shift the weight into the legs rather than into the hands. But if you bring focus to the hands, then you want to remind yourself to push the hands into the floor, spread the fingers wide, your chest is reaching towards the feet, and the heels are drawing down. But the heels don't need to touch the floor, really. And you can bend the knees if you like. Yeah, the legs don't need to be like fully extended and straight. Micro bending the knees always feels nice. Okay, and then let's keep the legs bent as much as we like. Walk the feet forward to meet the hands at the front of the mat. Nice forward fold. I'm just going to show you from the front. I'm going to sway from side to side a little bit. Again, shake a little bit out. Shake the wrist, shake the arms. Shake the head yes, shake the head no. And then we bend even more before we roll up the spine. One vertebra at a time. Go slower than you want to. And once the head is up, just rolling the shoulders back a few times. Before we get ready for our sun salutations. Sun salutations will start at the top of the mat. So you have space behind you. Heels can be slightly apart, big toes are touching. You're just rolling the shoulders back one more time, standing tall in your mountain pose. And from here, we'll move slowly to start with. So really bringing the attention of what the body is doing while we reconnect, so our deep breaths. You want to have a deep inhale through the nose. I'm lifting the arms up overhead in a big circle, looking up to the fingers. From here, dipping from the hips for a forward fold with the legs straight or bent to land in a forward fold. We have a halfway lift from here. In my halfway lift, I can put the hands on the shin if I like, or the fingertips can touch the floor. I am bringing the focus on lengthening through the spine and through the crown of the head, just looking beyond the edge of the mat. So really down in front, and then placing the hands down. As we bend the knees, step one leg back and step the other leg back. You land in a high plank, shoulders over wrists is always recommended. And then you can have the knees rest on the floor. From here we can drop
the chest and drop the chin, keeping the elbows closed, and that pose always feels a little bit weird. So we hover forward to come into a little cobra pose. Shoulder blades are coming together here. We're pushing the upper body nice and high. And then on an exhale, all the way back into downward facing dog. Back in downward facing dog gives the opportunity to reconnect with our deep breaths. And I'm going to show you alternatives for downward facing dog in a moment. Use an exhale to bend the knees and look forward. Let's walk back to meet the hands at the front of the mat. Halfway lift here. Exhale to forward fold. Let the head be heavy. Rising up like the sun, taking the arms with you all the way back in a big circle. And exhale, you are back in your mountain pose. I will do this sequence 3 more times and I will cue you along with it, okay? So you can watch and also do at the same time. And the more you practice that, it will just become more natural. It will become a bit more a habit, and you will know, oh yeah, that's what we do in sun salutations. All right? Okay, coming back to the front of the mat. Inhale deeply through the nose, lift the arms up overhead. Exhale for forward fold. Nice and slow. Bend the knees as much as you like. This is a halfway lift to lengthen. Exhale to place the hands down. Step one leg back. Step the other leg back. High plank, shoulders over wrists. Having the knees drop down. Chest and chin to follow. Hover forward for a little cobra pose or sphinx. It's also called sometimes. And then exhale, push back all the way into downward facing dog. One alternative for downward facing dog is puppy dog pose. In your puppy dog pose, the hips stay high, but the arms are coming down, resting on the forearms if you like, or with extended arms, reaching forward. Reconnecting with your deep breath. The head can also rest on the floor if that's available or if that feels nice for you. So puppy dog pose, great alternative for downward facing dog. Puts the weight off the wrists. Okay, then we can come back into downward facing dog first before we bend the knees, look forward, make our way, walk it all the way back to the front of the mat. Halfway lift here. Exhale, folding forward. Let the head be heavy. Inhale, back up, rising up, looking in between the hands. Exhale, brings back into mountain pose, hands in front of the chest.